Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for more grievous gut-stomping and gangrenous gashes down in the grotesque grottos of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And I'm tempted to make a Wonder Woman joke here, since she spent all last episode trying to show everyone her nasty gash, but for once, I'm gonna take the high road. Yeah, gonna do it, gash joke. I'm not gonna make it. It's too easy. It's too easy. Low-hanging fruit is delicious, but the higher-hanging fruit apparently is more delicious because it's harder to get. Never really understood that. I say fuck it, take the low hangers, and usually I do. But in this case, for once, I'm gonna refrain. And instead, what I'm gonna do is make fun of Taskmaster for getting more shit kicked out of him last episode than a plumber's boot. Because apparently the first person he ever learned to mimic was Jimmy, the cockeyed, club-footed kid who played flute in the high school marching band. And if you're curious why a kid with a club foot would sign up for the marching band, hey, all I can say is your guess is as good as mine. If you really want to know, go ask Jimmy. Anyway, a couple new people on the team here, of course. We've got Jester Robbie Baldwin, a.k.a. Speedball, who is arguably a laughingstock, and it seems like quite a fool, so we thought Jester would be appropriate. And Electra Nachos, who is the only superhero I can think of, who came back from the dead less powerful than she was when she died the first time, and also more pathetic, and also her last name looks like Nachos. So maybe that should have been her superpower. Her superpower should have just been that she made really good nachos. Definitely would have been a better hero. Alright then, so let's go find ourselves a mission, see what's on the old plate this week. We could try and take out the wizened hag. What's our reward? A very mediocre shield. That's terrible. And what else have we got? Ooh, well, the bleeding pendant is actually pretty good. I'm a bit of a fan. What have you? A sniper's ring. The sniper's ring is real good. It's real good. We can't do a medium dungeon yet, though. We just don't have the suit for it. The defender's shield is also not terrible. I don't like the penalty to crit, but the extra protection is nice. The only mission we have here is to kill the wizened hag. I don't really feel like we're ready for the wizened hag. I wouldn't mind doing a medium mission, though, if we could get one. Are any of these medium? None. Alright, well, that's disappointing. I would like to do one more mission to maybe put together a little scratch so we can get some armor and equipment upgrades for the team before we maybe try and go tangle with the hag. Speaking of which, what team are we going to take into the old dungeon here? Let's first of all, everybody off the roster. Superman, beat it. Captain America, you're gone. Wonder Woman, you should probably take care of that nasty gash. In fact, I think we're going to leave Diana home to maybe tend to that nasty gash of hers. You know, I've heard Wonder Woman, you've got a yeast issue, a little yogurt douche can really help with that kind of problem. Might head back to the old Hamlet there and see if maybe the caretaker can whip you up a jug of Dannon or something. Unflavored, I mean, definitely you want to use the unflavored yogurt if you're using it for that particular purpose. So Catherine Bishop's stress is a little high, but I think we can probably afford to take her in. Also, I really like Arbalest, and I wouldn't mind getting her some experience. What abilities do you have, Rob? Harvest, Finale, which is not great. Solo, which is honestly terrible. And Battle Ballad, which I think will couple very well with our Abomination, but I don't think Robbie Baldwin has the skills we need to pay the bills in his current sort of incarnation. We'll probably take Speedball to the trainer. Oh, we can't do that until we take him on a mission, though, can we? Well, piss up a rope. So, Flashing Daggers, Thrown Dagger, Poison Dart, and Toxin Trickery, those are actually respectable. Really, Pick to the Face is the only other thing I might like to see Elektra have. She is all about throwing sais, knives, and daggers, too, so I mean, yeah, her name sort of looks like the word nachos, and it actually sounds like nachos. It seems like nachos should be a dish at like a Greek restaurant. Hey, come try the nachos, they're delicious. I don't know what we're going to do about a team here. We should probably take... No, we can't take Wonder Woman. She's got to tend to that nasty gash. It's got to be dealt with, Wonder Woman. So let's take an Arbalest. Let's take Captain America, because I don't really see any particular drawback. Sure, I mean, Taskmaster could go get his fucking head kicked in again. We're gonna need somebody who can do some actual damage on this team, though. We kind of don't really have a lot of the damage, do we? Yeah, this is not looking great. I wouldn't mind taking the Abomination, but I think our Abomination Jester is gonna be sort of the combination of choice. With the stress reduction song, do you have the stress reduction song? You do not. It's still there. Yeah, it is still there, but Inspiring Tune is actually much better than it used to be. Alright, so we can't take you into the dungeon. You got, alright, screw it. Let's just grab Electra Nachos. And we'll go straight into the old ruins here, see if we can maybe pick up a bleeding pendant. We're also going to look at trinkets, because I've been overlooking trinkets for a real long time, and we've got quite a few. Those are actually not great. +1 crit is excellent, though. We'll equip those. We have 2 of these? We do. Well, I guess we'll equip one for lack of anything better to do. Debuff Stone, Stun Charm, Blight Stone, Agility Whistle. Never mind. We're going to get the Bullseye Bandana instead, because that item is real good, whereas that one is fairly mediocre. We do have a Man-at-Arms. Let's give you an eye patch then, because, I mean, shit. -2 dodge for Blight and Bleed resistance seems reasonable. Debuff Skill Chance is not fantastic. Stun resistance in favor of dodge. None of that stuff is especially useful. Anything for our Houndmaster? Well, we'll give him a Dog Whistle. Because, I mean, why not? I mean, he has a dog. Who else is going to use a fucking dog whistle? We might as well give it to the guy who has a dog. And anything we want to throw on you? Blight skill? You don't have any blight skills. Debuffs. Stun resistance for a dodge penalty. None of that seems worthwhile at all. Alright then, no extra cheese for the nachos there. Our nachos are going to be fairly bland. I mean, I thought we could spice them up with maybe like some jalapenos or something. Oh, the Gravedigger comes with their own shovel. Wow, that's actually surprisingly useful. If they made action figures of Darkest Dungeon, that would be what was written on the side of the Gravedigger's package. It would just say comes with their own shovel. Am I over preparing here? We probably don't need medicinal herbs. I'll keep the holy water. We probably don't need anti-venom either. I'll keep the holy water and the key. That seems more ruin-y. Like, it would be better for the ruins, really. Seems more appropriate. Undead will not bleed, but they can be blighted. Just so you know, in case you hadn't played Darkest Dungeon before, this tip, extremely useful. Arguably, if we had lived long enough to see the tip, we probably already do that. So you know what? I take it back. That tip is terrible.
And what better place to begin?
Completing 100% of room battles. Well, this dungeon layout is not good. On the plus side, it is at least a short dungeon. I mean, we're not looking at an abundance of rooms, and we're starting things off by just pitching this holy water in this decorative urn and pulling out some mad ducats. We could basically bail right... Holy crap. I'm tempted to go again, but we can't really afford to. Check out the urn. Sentimental gifts are hidden inside. So this has already been fantastically profitable. We could leave the dungeon right now and have turned a pretty respectable amount of cash out of this one. We're pimping this dungeon like, I mean, you know, like we're actually pimping a dungeon. I mean, we're pimping it like it's turning tricks for us behind the dumpster at an Arby's. We'll just be like, no, we're gonna go out there and straight up pimp. Girl, you get out there and earn them ducats, yo, you know daddy gots to get paid. We do have a blight skill. Poison darts does blight, yeah. I think we're gonna go with the old flashing dagger instead. Dodged, so Electra Nachos. You know, that's why Daredevil was blind, Electra. He blinded himself purposely so he didn't have to watch you fucking fail like this. This guy should be dead, by the way, too. We could go for the suppression. Alternatively, I think we just go for the sniper shot and see if that's exactly what we were hoping for. Just a straight-up kill. This guy dies from the bleed. Just leaves our little friend, the Weber Grill, here to see what he can whip up in the kitchen. Alright, a little bit of damage. And the blight, which is unfortunate. Still, that's a pretty minimal blight. Why can't I cry havoc? Oh, we're too far forward. Okay. That's... Alright, well, let's do this then. May as well get the kill. We'll get a little stress relief. So what can you do? What skills can you have that work from slot 2? Poison Dart does not work from slot 2. Cry Havoc is really useful, though, and we could... You know what? I think Cry Havoc is ultimately going to prove itself more useful than Poison Dart. We could really use that stress heal. That would save us some cash in the long run. Although we did get mad loot out of this dungeon, so you know what? Maybe cash is the wrong concern. I hate having to go to both of these rooms. But my luck, if we don't check these rooms out, what we'll do is we'll go down and wind up exploring the rest of the dungeon, and rather than having to backtrack the one room to check out this room, we'll have to backtrack 4 rooms to check out the ones that we've already... I explained that just as most convoluted and stupid fashion possible. You should, yeah. I don't ever ask me for directions, folks, because that's the kind of shit you get. Be like, what do I do? Where do I go? You're gonna wind up lost in a bad neighborhood late at night, and I mean, things are gonna go. They're gonna go poorly for you. I think we just cry havoc here. Yes, we could loose the dogs of war and whatnot, but let's just focus on the havoc and the crying. Mostly the crying. I mean, I'm still me, and I'm not really very good at Darkest Dungeon. Crying is sort of inevitable.
Give them no quarter.
Nice little kill for the Taskmaster, who for once has managed to not get kicked around like that kid in the band. Of course, as soon as I say that, he immediately gets punched in the face, just like that kid in the band who got punched in the face pretty much every time he ever spoke. Really felt sorry for Jimmy.
As the fiend falls,
Yeah, turns out you probably don't want to play flute in your high school band as a dude. I'm just saying, maybe pick a different instrument. Don't play the flute. Excellent stress relief there from the havoc and the crying. Hey, say what you want. I cry at the drop of a hat. I'm a sensitive man, but you know, I do it well. When I do cry, I don't always cry, but when I do, I cry big, giant crocodile tears. Electra Nachos taking a whack from a club. That's fairly familiar territory for Electra. Let's face it, she spends a lot of time hanging out with Daredevil. What does Toxin Trickery do? Gives her a bunch of speed. She literally can't hit first position with any ability that she has, huh? Poison darts are the only one. Alright, well, I mean, that's unfortunate. I guess we'll just Toxin Trickery then. Give ourselves a pointless buff, and I guess we'll cry havoc. And gets a little more stress relief while we wait for... Well, we're gonna have you heal. And I guess we'll just wait for the Taskmaster to finish kicking this guy around, huh? You know, this guy is marked, and he hasn't swung at him once. There we go. Alright, Taskmaster with the riposte. Man, another absolutely monstrous pile of gold. We are racking up the cash here. This dungeon is a gold mine. I mean, it doesn't look like a gold mine, but it definitely is. I mean, it looks more like the inside of a ruined house, but it's definitely a gold mine. Stack of books. I guess we'll just check it out. All right, so a absolute shitload of stress. You know what? Nah, Electra there probably read one of her own comics and just realized, holy shit, I'm the joke of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I'm shameful. I'm a blight on what is otherwise a relatively fine body of work. I mean, it's me in like the third X-Men movie. If it weren't for us, people would be able to point to the Marvel MCU and say, you know, they have a pretty much unblemished record, but they can't do that because I did it. In both Daredevil and the movie with my own eponymous name, the eponymously named Elektra, which was fucking god-awful, by the way. So we want to kill Stress Unit. We've gotten really lucky with our surprises, and I think we've had a surprise on every single encounter. We also want to kill that Madman, so we've got 2 stress-causing units, both of which are problematic. Bonk this guy, and well, you did get, that was not enough bonk, Taskmaster. We needed more of the bonk, and you did not bring the bonk. Fortunately, our Arbalest got the job done, and that's a speed... Nope, here comes the Doomsday. So that's a shitload of stress. I really like the Madman. The Madman was not a unit that was in the game the last time I played Darkest Dungeon. I sort of like their aesthetic. Just a crazy guy running around in a ripped up straitjacket. I definitely don't like what they're doing to me here because they're fucking ruining our shit. But I like I sort of like the idea of the Madman more so than the actual Madman himself. Probably often said about literal madmen too. Be like, you know, I mean, the idea of the crazy dude is fine, but every time I try and go talk to Rick, the lunatic over there at the Bedlam Asylum, he just starts clawing at my flesh, talking about how he's got to get the bugs out. And then he tries to gnaw off my fingers. It's really very off-putting. Yeah, not quite devastating enough there, Taskmaster. Can you get... Yeah, all right. Well, he's got the 2-point follow-through to get the job done. Electra can't really do anything, so I guess we'll just have her give herself a dodge bonus with some Toxin Trickery. Let's go for the Rampart. Maybe we could push that guy back. Oh, he resisted the move. And whatever the other part of that is, we're going to go ahead and cry havoc one more time to try and undo some of our doomsaying. And I think we'll heal. Oh, a little critical heal for Electra Nachos. It's just like when those ninjas brought her back from the dead. Personally, I always considered the fact that ninjas would likely have had something fucking better to do with their time, but I don't know, I guess if you've got mystic rituals and bringing people back from the dead is all those rituals are good for, and the only person you can think of to bring back from the dead is Electra, I mean, I guess there are worse ways to spend your time. Okay, so clearly our strategy here is not working. We're just repeatedly taking an absolute metric shitload of damage and doing nothing in return. This is not good. We're getting... I'm not delaying, I'm trying. I just don't have people who can fight. Don't give me the delay stress here, Darkest Dungeon. I'm not having any of your stress nonsense. That's bullshit. Plus 33%, those are real good. Man, what is it with our Arbalest getting all kinds of crazy gear? I think we definitely give up the crit for the bonus healing. Those are much better. I do like the way, I gotta have to say, I do really, really like the way that Red Hook Studios has changed the trinket system. Used to be sort of every trinket had a benefit, but then some kind of payout or some kind of like drawback. They all were very careful balancing acts, and now it seems like some trinkets are just, you know what? This trinket is good. This trinket is an objective improvement for my person. If I put it on there, I don't have to worry about what I'm balancing. Sometimes the trinket just does something good for you. That's good. Good things should be good. Perfidious Pete, purveyor of the most mundane sentences of all time, by the way. Good things should be good. That's a wise sentiment there, Pete. Alright, well, Arbalest is the only uninjured person in the party. I guess we'll, yeah, fuck you up with a nice Iron Maiden. I could have put medicinal herbs. You got the Og. Alright, Ghetto Hawkeye, specifically, what does that do? Well, it definitely does not go well with your rabies, so we gotta, I mean, the rabies will keep. We like the rabies. The Og, though, that's gotta go. Ague, Og. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that word, which is odd because I do have a degree in English. Seems like that should be something I'd be okay at. And we're gonna get a whole heap, yep, okay. You know, I'm more glad about the fact that it just did 1 damage. Wow, we have extra stress damage until we camp. That's not fantastic. So we gotta go for the flashing daggers here, try and do as much aggregate damage as we can. We also need to get rid of these stress units, and no more dicking around here. We gotta eat a dog biscuit. We really need to get some kills here, so if you could maybe murder that madman. He's back there being all crazy and weird. We don't know what the hell he's up to. He could be literally up to anything. He is an absolute madman. He's gonna be shockingly, unpredictably dangerous. The switch in position is not, all things considered, it's not terrible. Go ahead and bonk the madman. So apparently Taskmaster has decided to mimic the fact that he's just grabbing his head, shaking slightly and quivering. That's the move he chose to emulate. That's, I mean, it's a questionable choice, I think, Taskmaster. Bonus healing paying some dividends there from our Arbalest. Please kill the madman before he makes everyone insane. In Darkest Dungeon, insanity is, you know, I mean, it's a contagious disease. You can catch crazy. For instance, it's crazy to think that Taskmaster here might do more than 1 damage. You know, that's lunacy of the highest order. Little graveyard slash the riposte triggers. We gotta heal Electra Nachos here. We gotta throw a little Rotel in the dip just to sort of thicken the sauce, make it taste a little better, because just plain melted cheddar cheese is real bland. So we'll toss in a little Rotel, maybe some very finely minced onions. Gotta give it a little something. Can we do anything else to that guy? We could just straight up throw a knife in his head. Alright, well, I mean, Electra hit him, so we gotta give credit where credit is due. At least she connected. Full marks for the connection. Another 1 damage from the Taskmaster. He's really holding it down, the Taskmaster, let me tell you. Captain America, you know what? You and Bucky, you're the one people in the group who are sort of doing their job. I gotta give Captain America, I mean, he's good. Symbol of freedom and whatnot. Looking slightly less free there with a giant axe wound. And no, that wasn't a Wonder Woman reference talking about the axe wound. It was I'm actually talking about an actual wound made by an actual axe. It wasn't any kind of euphemism. Don't start putting words in my mouth, Internet. So here comes the poison darts and the blight. This guy does have protection, so the blight is respectably useful. The miss from the old Taskmaster there was not fantastic. Another 2 damage axe blade for Captain America. That's okay. His shield keeping him safe. And Catherine Bishop, the ghetto Hawkeye, there to patch him up a little bit. We really got to come up with a name for ghetto Hawkeye. So she's like the budget eye. Or dog bites. There we go. All right, well, Captain America may be taking a little bit of a beating, but Bucky can still dish it out. I'm just going to go for this. We might be able to get another heal off before this guy goes. That's exactly what I was hoping for. When this guy goes, he's going to die. That's why I was hoping to try and get the heal off with the speed buff. And dead indeed. Rifling through the corpses. So we get a move charm, which gives us movement resist. Now we find medicinal herbs, anti-venom, and a torch. Fantastic. So what would we want to get rid of if we were to get rid of something? Because we can't carry any of this. Well, the torch we can just burn. So that solves one problem. Jade is 250 gold. Citrine also you know what? Let's discard the Jade. Would I rather have the anti-venom? No, I would actually rather have the moon charm because we could sell that for way more than 250 gold. And the anti-venom, I think we'll just, to hell with it. We'll just throw it on the floor. Quest is complete, so we can leave. It's not like the Hotel California. I mean, you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. In this case, we can actually just fucking leave. 750 gold, which we can't carry. Medicinal herbs. Oh, you know what? This bandage can go on the ground. Just get rid of that and give me that gold. I would much rather have the gold than the bandage. Let's take a look at the scout and see what's on the menu here. One more fight if we want it. I think we just pop out of the hallway, see what this curio is, and I threw my medicinal. No, I do have medicinal herbs. All right, well, it's time to get revenge on the Iron Maiden then. Take that, shitty band from the 70s? I don't remember when Iron Maiden was popular. You know what? I don't think any of the rest of this is really worth trifling with. We would go pick a battle down here. We're not in the greatest of shape. We do still have plenty of food, but I'd rather just get the refund than consume these precious resources. So you know what? I think we just bail. We already made a relative fortune for a level 1 dungeon. We really came out of that with quite a bit of cash. It's going to be the gold, not so much, but the gems that are really going to pile it on. Yeah, look at that. $600-700. Dollars? These look like dollars, Pete. I would say they look more like doubloons. Maybe guineas? 6,700 guineas, perhaps? Alright, let's see how we did here. Not great. Claustrophobia is not terrible. Evasive is fantastic. Finally, maybe Taskmaster will show some of the reflexes that he's supposed to possess rather than just routinely getting his face mashed in by anybody who wants to throw a punch at him. Little Cove Scrounger here. Plus 10 scouting into Cove for Captain America. All right, not terrible. Electra Nachos has slow reflexes, but I think we all already knew that. Catherine Bishop is a gambler. Of course she is. She's a chance taker. She took on the mantle of Hawkeye. I mean, that guy goes into battle against gods and other entities in the Marvel universe armed only with a fucking bow and arrow. That's definitely gambling with his life. And is also a ruined scoundrel. None of this is really overwhelmingly requiring attention. I think we could probably make do with sending some of our more beleaguered seekers into the old sanitarium. A little bit of stress relief there for some of our inactive folks. Superman is rip-roaring and raring to go. Clark Kent hasn't stolen anything in a while, and he's really itching to get back into form. Alright, so what have you got? You got rabies. You know what? The rabies, Ivy, I think we're gonna hang on to the rabies. I like it a bees. And besides, Catherine Bishop is the person who has to go get her diseases treated, because we got to get rid of the Og there. That's just terrible. And we could also get rid of a negative quirk. Do we have one we might want to get rid of? Let's take a look. Enlightened is not really a problem. Shocker is not great, but it's not terrible. Those are both locked in. I don't want to pay the cash for that. Tuckered out really sucks. We should consider getting rid of that. Claustrophobia. What's sickly? Nothing really problematic. Captain America is afraid of the dark. That's definitely the kind of thing one would expect the most powerful soldier ever to be afraid of. Plus 5 damage for range skills. Not really that big of a deal. What have you got? Necromania. You're fascinated with corpses and obsessed with material things. So his goal is to fuck Madonna's corpse, I guess. That's like his ultimate life goal. I would like to have sex with Madonna's corpse. You know what? You could probably make that happen. Seems like the kind of thing she might be into. we don't really need to send anybody in. I think Mercedes Knight with Tuckered Out is probably our best candidate, so let's go ahead and get rid of Tuckered Out then. Cost us 1,500 gold, which is fairly expensive. We need to get skills for Robbie Baldwin. The problem is we can't get skills for Robbie Baldwin because he's not ranked 1. Or can we? Wait, can we? Yes, we can. Oh, we don't have to be rank 1. All right, well, that's good. So Battle Ballad and Aspiring Tune are both excellent. Slice Off is quite good, and Harvest is also quite good. Dirk Stab, I'm not as big a fan of. This is a big upfront investment in old Robbie Baldwin, but hey, Speedball is one of the most powerful people. I mean, he's subtly powerful in the Marvel Universe. That Speedball, he can do some shit. We are not going to upgrade our guild. What we're going to upgrade instead is our armor smithing. And then for our A-team, I think it's time that the A-team gets fully upgraded with armor and weapons here. So, old Clark, gonna give the Superman an upgrade. We're gonna give Bruce Wayne a little upgrade, and Poison Ivy also gonna grab some upgrades here. I'd love to upgrade. I don't suppose we can we? Oh, we can. All right then. So yeah, that's probably gonna be the team for our next mission. We're just gonna go back to sort of classic Darkest Dungeoning, and it's gonna be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Poison Ivy. One of those things is not like the other, by the way. One of those things does not belong. Also, you don't want to be around. You don't want to be around Dr. Huxtable. You really don't want to give him a chance to slip something in your drink, because he'll be like, one of these drinks is not like the other because one of them will make you pass out and then I'll fuck you. All right, well, the Bill Cosby joke was maybe over the top, and you know what? I feel a little guilty about that one, so I'm going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot, and if you'd like to see more terribly inappropriate and horrifically bad Bill Cosby jokes, as well as the impression, which is equally awful, you might consider subscribing as well, posting new episodes of Darkest Dungeon every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to go get a pudding pop. I'll see you again soon.